The hair falls out because they say any fast-growing cell gets killed by the chemotherapy. And I'm like, what are my hair cells doing that they're growing so fast? I've got lots of cells. Why are they special? They're just secreting hair all day. But that's not actually what happens. I found out how hairs work, and it makes sense. The problem is that it's gross, and I'm gonna tell you, and you can't leave. So at the base of your hair follicles, there's a bunch of little cells, and they're constantly dividing. And as they do, they push the cells higher and higher. And as they get higher and higher, they fill themselves up with the protein keratin. And then, as they get even higher, they just eject all of their organelles, and then their cytoplasm, and then they dry out, and then they stick together, and they become the hair. All the lovely hairs, they smell so good. It's just very long stacks of dead cells. And I find this super gross. Like that, they were like, how are we gonna make mammals happen? And evolution was like, you're not going to believe my idea. And then your hair can change. I haven't quite figured this one out yet. People argue about it, but you can get curly hair. Mine came back curly, so now I know what it's like for the curly-haired people. I get to be like you people. And here's what it's like. I'm gonna tell the straight hairs about it. It's better, but it's harder. And I would tell you why it's harder, but the curly hair people know, and the straight hair people aren't my people anymore, and I don't care about it. When it started being curly, I was thinking maybe I was gonna get that sort of like Jeremy Allen White situation going on. It's like swoopy doopy, and I got the Mark Zuckerberg situation instead. Which I don't want to hate on Mark Zuckerberg because of the way that he looks, because there's all the other reasons. So I'm just hoping it gets long, and then I get to Jeremy Allen White eventually. So I'm gonna go into the gym a lot. Nothing's happening. I don't know how much you have to go to the gym for something to happen. So far, all that's changed is I can jump again. Chemo's bad for jumping, but watch me now. I know. Feels good. When you do a jump and you don't go anywhere, you're like, oh, this is bad. But that's not one of the good parts of cancer. That's one of the bad parts. But I'm on the good parts, which is like I got curly hair. That's fun. But there's other good parts. No one talks about the good parts. What do I like about cancer? I didn't have to do Zoom calls anymore. Which is amazing, because I've had cancer and been on Zoom calls. And cancer's worse. But I thought about it for a second. People will do stuff for you. You just ask, and they have to. If they don't, they're a terrible person. And if they do, they get to feel like a good person. Like you ask somebody to drive you to the airport in this town, they're like, how much cancer do you have? I had a friend who tweeted, I'm gonna go get a big sandwich. And I texted them, and I said, get me one. And then a half an hour later, they were at my house with a big sandwich, and then we sat on my porch in the Montana summer and ate big sandwiches together like it was a root beer commercial. If root beer had commercials, which it doesn't need to, so it doesn't. But if they did, it would be like that. And I was like, everybody should get cancer. So hair falls out everywhere, but it falls out first anywhere there's a lot of friction, which sounds kind of like, ooh, but it's the butt crack. When I had it, I was like, well, there's gotta be a reason. I don't get what it could be. It seems like a bad idea to have hair where the poop comes from. But like, there's gotta be a reason. And then I didn't, and I was like, there's no reason. This is bad. It's like a water slide down there, and it's awesome. And like, my job is to like know this stuff, and so I'm like, evolution, what are you thinking? What are we? And it's like, it's just a selective pressure towards butt crack hair. And I'm like, I don't think there is. I did the math. I've experienced the experiment. And no, there is, I promise. I just like, did you say you just like it? You cannot kink shame evolution. Do not yuck my yums. And can you even do German accent anymore? Yeah, no, that's gonna be the last one it's weird to do. You know what you did.